The views and opinions expressed in this podcast by the host and or the guest do not necessarily reflect the views of the host and or Paranormal Buzz Radio and or its sponsors. Use of any material produced by Paranormal Buzz Radio without express written consent is prohibited. Paranormal Buzz Radio will not be held responsible for you holding your knees, crying, and rocking in a corner in a puddle of your own urine, or being beheaded by a group of children in a cornfield. In fact, if you come across a group of children in a cornfield, we promise to make fun of you as you run away screaming in terror. Listener discretion is advised.
Hey everyone, this is Darren Bus from the Paranormal Bus Stop, brought to you by Paranormal Buzz Radio. The Ghoulish Gang is back. Myself, Darren Bus, Cynthia Gerodius, Ashley Storm, and Shay Carroll, where we talk about all things paranormal on a round table format. Come join us for some ghoulish fun.
Here's your host, Darren Buss.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Monday night, the final show of the year until February. And this is a Halloween special of the show in honor of Halloween. And happy Halloween early to everybody out there. And hopefully you're ready for it. I know I am. I don't know about you guys. Cynthia and Shay are joining me tonight.
Hello. Hello.
So how you ladies doing?
Peachy. Peachy keen.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Shay, did you put different music on? Different intro music?
Not that I know of. Why?
I just, the intro music sounded different for some reason. I was listening to it.
Did it say the right show?
Yes, it did.
Oh, that's because we had to redo a few months back we had to redo all the intros because our licensing ran out and we got a new license.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I like it. I mean, it's very Halloween music. I like it.
Yep.
It's very
appropriate. I'll have to listen down the playback.
Yep. Darren, you picked it.
Yeah, Darren, you picked it. You should know what it is.
And it's your voice.
Do you know how much this guy listens to music all day long? I can't keep track of what I do.
That's what your wife says, too.
My playlist is about 200 songs long every day.
Oh, boy.
So, that's when I'm at work, by the way. Anyhow... So, what you guys got going on lately? Everybody doing good at this point?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm getting over I don't know if you'd call it a cold or what you would call it, coming back from Vegas, but yeah, it was all good.
Supposed to bring Vegas back with you.
No. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
That is right. I've never been there, but...
I know. I'm just playing with y'all. I've been to Vegas once. Back in 2003.
I've never been.
So,
oh, Shay, we need to take you.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Me, you, Kelly, Rebecca, a few more. Oh, my God. We'd be in so much trouble. And broke.
Well... To show you one of the things that I did, I mean, I know people on the show can't see it, but y'all can. Hang on.
Hi.
So, that's one of the spots that we went.
Oh, God.
And you had a field day, I bet you.
Oh,
she holds a picture of Zach Baggins' museum. That's what she was showing us.
Yep.
I mean, I guess if you're in Vegas, maybe you gotta check it out, but...
Well, okay, so like I said before...
No, even me, I'm saying, I can see why.
Yeah. April and I went to check it out to see what the hype was all about.
Was it still $100 a ticket?
No. It depends on what you're gonna do. If you're gonna do the 2-hour ghost hunt thingy at the end of the night, then yeah, you're looking at about $150 a person.
Yeah.
My God.
And you cannot use your own equipment. You have to use their equipment. I mean, there's a whole bunch of rules that goes with
Yeah,
it.
I'd pass on that for sure.
Which
Might as well
I
bring bread and corn with you.
I mean, I get it because they're looking at the financial factor. But no, I think for both April and I, it was 70 something a person because I got us the VIP, RIP, all access. We could go a bunch more different places than if I had just gotten us the regular tickets, which are like 40 something a piece. But this got us into more spots and got us down into the basement and a few other spots.
Wow. Well, it's the most difficult one for you.
The most difficult spot?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to make this disclaimer right now. These views and opinions expressed on this podcast are mine and my own and nobody else's. So if y'all have issues with how I describe it and how my experience went, this was, as Kelly would say, this is my personal truth. This is what I experienced, and this is what I think. This is not anybody else.
Don't leave.
So, if you're looking to go there for the paranormal curiosity, if you're looking to go there for the creep factor, if you're looking to go there for I am not a paranormal investigator, I am in it just to get scared, you're good. You're really good. He has so many different items and artifacts housed together and housed in close proximity to each other that I personally do not think he knows what he's playing with.
He never did.
I mean, you are looking at things like Ed Gein's cauldron and shovel. You are looking at
the shovel.
Yes. You are looking at Ed Gein's cauldron and shovel. You are looking at the Devil's Rocking Chair that Lorraine Warren sat in and that was used in the whole Devil Made Me Do It documentary or that case. Mm-hmm. You've got those close together, and they're in fairly close proximity to the Dybbuk box. And then you've got the serial killer room, which has Charlie Manson stuff, Ted Bundy's rape kit, Charlie Manson's ashes and other personal items, Ted Bundy's rape kit, John Wayne Gacy's paintings and clown costume, Richard Ramirez's shirt from jail, and a couple other things. And then I think he had a couple of things from like the Birdman of Alcatraz, Stroud.
Yeah, he was a painter also.
Yeah, him and a couple others. He had stuff, and they're all in the same room. Yeah, in the same proximity.
Dahmer.
No. He actually did not have anything of Jeffrey Dahmer's. He had the room that I felt, like physically felt dizzy and sick was Jack Kevorkian's doctor's office. Mm. I don't know. So one of the issues that I have is they have EM pumps everywhere. Mm-hmm. Everywhere. And they're constantly going. So I don't know.
That right there could set you off.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if that was half of the cause of it or what, but you get into that doctor's office and I immediately felt like I was swaying in the room.
So the fun.
Was as bad as Transalgain Lunatic
No, this was different. This was like more of a funhouse effect.
That's what I was just gonna say. Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
This was more of a funhouse effect.
But anything can do that. A wobbly floor,
Yeah.
something out of balance, and then you got all the EMF pumps, and then you got the just the stories alone. I mean, there's just
and like I said, it's definitely worth going if it's something that you're into for like the creep factor or the curiosity factor. They have each different room on the tour has a little TV that has a short narration of that room and what's in it by Zach. And they pump different smells into the place. Like
why would you wouldn't need to do that?
I don't know. They have like a funhouse room where they had something. I want to say it was something from like the Barnum and Bailey's Circus Fire or something. I don't know for sure, but that section of the room smells like popcorn, and I mean they have just different things like that.
Did it sell popcorn?
No, but the Demon House.
Oh yeah, dirt and
they have
staircase.
They have the basement steps and the dirt that was underneath of it. And they have several artifacts that they dug up out of that dirt, and they have that in a little glass case. But you can smell like the earthy type dirt smell, like a basement type smell.
Yeah.
And of course they have all of the weird, creepy music. He has the exorcism box from the Exorcism of Annalise Michel, which is the story behind the Exorcism of Emily Rose.
Yeah. Yes.
If you've ever seen that movie.
Yeah.
The Exorcism of Annalise Michel, he has the actual exorcist box that they used and a couple of items that they used with that. And so they have that set like in a chapel setting, and it's in the front of the room, and they've got the spoiler alert if anybody's going, sorry, I'm going to kill it for you. They've got like tapes of the actual exorcism playing in the background with her voice and
I was
the
gonna
priest
say,
and everything.
You and I have talked about this before, Cynthia, but I'm pretty sure way back when we were young.
Yeah.
The creepiest thing, real or fake, I've ever heard in my life is the actual recordings of her.
Mm-hmm.
It is
they
made
are
me so sick.
They are terrifying.
It made me sick, and I'm not that way. I don't get that way.
Yeah, and they have the way they have it set up is when they put you in that room, you have two choices. You can either walk out the door, or you can crawl through this little itty-bitty tunnel that they supposedly condensed all of this energy and all of this...
What the fuck?
All of that into. So...
Are you serious?
April went out the door, I went through the tunnel. I don't remember if April went through the tunnel or not. But yeah, I'm dead serious. And this tunnel is like... I mean, it had my claustrophobia going like none other.
Oh, I'm sure.
Luckily, the lady that was in front of me reaches her hand back and grabs my hand and says, "Here, just follow me," because it's completely black. You cannot see to get out of there. So she's got my hand so that I can, follow her to get out, and I've got the person behind me. I am directing them on which way to go, And
this is from a quote unquote professional ghost hunter. And so yeah, let's risk people's lives. Come on, that tells you right there.
When you're going through the funhouse,
it's fake.
When you're done with that Barnum and Bailey room, and you actually have to walk out through this little maze that's got clown mannequins on each side of the wall, and all of a sudden you see one moving in front of you.
Right.
And it's not animatronic, it's a person in the wall.
Yeah.
No thanks.
But just the fact that our quote-unquote professional, and we use that term very loosely for anybody, but especially for him, like anybody that is concerned with the paranormal or is in this for legitimate reasons wouldn't try to do half that stuff she just said. Especially condensing all the energy into one spot and then making people crawl through it. Like, come on. How many waivers did you have to sign to get in?
One.
Yeah. See. Yeah.
One. You have to sign a waiver to be able to go on the tour that absolves them of everything.
Oh yeah.
And
which
then,
is smart on his part, yeah.
And then when you start the tour,
I'll talk about getting the shovel and bringing that to the museum.
when you start the tour, they have, I don't know if you can see this very well.
Mm-hmm.
It says, warning, this building is known to contain ghosts/spirits and cursed objects. By entering, you agree that management will not be liable for any actions by these unseen forces.
It says management. It doesn't say owner.
And they actually have you put your hand up and take the oath, and that's the oath.
Oh my God, it just gets cornier and cornier. Like, I signed your paper. I'd be like, yeah. No, I would never make it. They would never let me in. Never.
But April and I swear to God we saw Zach. Because we were standing in the, this is the funny part. We're standing in the lobby, which, okay, so here's a picture of the lobby. You know, it's got dolls galore. In this lobby. And we're standing there waiting for everybody to get ready before they take us in. And this person comes in a what would almost, to me, if I can remember correctly, it was almost like a blue overalls and this really effed up black scraggly wig. But he had the black face mask.
Oh yeah.
And from here up,
yeah.
After seeing enough of Ghost Adventures, yeah. Mm-hmm. It was Zach Baggins.
Interesting.
Now, did he stop and talk to anybody? No.
Hell no. Why would he do that? I'm sure
so
you're probably gonna punch in the face.
We're thinking that because both the group before us was I think they were like with Wounded Warrior Project or something.
Okay.
So we're thinking maybe he dropped in to check on them. We don't know.
That makes sense.
But yeah, we saw that person coming into the museum, and then April on several occasions saw a person with the same facial features with a black hoodie with the hood up and tied and, walking around the place. So, you tell me.
That's mysterious. That's how all Hollywood stars do it too, and they don't want to get seen.
Yeah.
And like I said, if you take it for what it is with the pretending you have never done any of this before, and this is something that is just, he's got all these really cool objects, and you're there to get creeped out, you're good.
See, if it was just a museum, I would go check out the stuff, but all the shenanigans, no way.
Won't lie, though. If y'all have seen the episode of Ghost Adventures where they were, I think, in Vegas, and they went to a home, and the mother, before she died, was, like, possessed, and they did an exorcism on her or something, I don't remember what, and apparently she died in her son's arms, and the thing that she told her kid before she croaked was, I made a pact with the devil and these demons, and now they're coming after you, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had her cremated, so they had her ashes in this house. Well, they removed the ashes and took the ashes back to the museum. They had the ashes out on display in the museum with the crucifix hung over it. The crucifix was moving. Now, we did go and check. April and I did kind of wander over there and check and make sure there was no airflow, there was no magnets.
Yeah, but if they're producing smells and all this other stuff, who knows? It could be on purpose.
That's why we were kind of trying to debunk it, to see if it was actually something or not. So we're undecided about that because we couldn't see anything. We couldn't feel any, air ducts or anything there, but that doesn't mean there wasn't. But that was pretty cool to see. But yes, there was the Divic box room was one of the heavier rooms that I went into that I was not a fan of. The Annalise Michelle room, the first room they stick you in, was kind of, I wasn't very thrilled with it, with the feel of it. Trying to think of what all else they have there. What they didn't have there. The whole Peggy the doll thing, I'm not so sure about. They tell you when you go in, they've got her in a case against the wall. They tell you when you go in, you're not supposed to make direct eye contact with her. You can look at her, but just don't look her in the eyes. When you go in, you say hello. When you go to leave, you say goodbye. That way, you're being respectful to the spirit and all of that. So, I mean, it's just, I don't know. I'm on the fence about a lot of it.
Yeah.
But my main thing is I do not think he knows what he's playing with. And if he does, the man is freaking nuts.
I think that's already been established that he's nuts.
I mean, certifiably insane.
Yes. Now I have to make a phone call to see how much he wants for that shovel.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, good luck.
Well, he doesn't have any of the knives, so we're one up on that one.
Well, he doesn't need the knives. He's got the cauldron and the shovel.
I heard something with the cauldron. There's not much to do with it, though. And all the videos that are out there with that Dean, there's not much said about the cauldron.
Well, apparently, according to the museum, that's where he did most of the skinning people and all of that. And that's where they found, what was it? There was a woman's body that was supposedly hung from the rafters of the barn, and the cauldron was underneath of it to catch the blood.
That was Bernice Warden.
Yeah, that one.
Okay. Well, I have to talk to my buddy Scott about that one.
Yeah.
I think it's called bloodletting,
yeah.
Bloodletting, yeah.
Yeah. Bleeding him out.
Yeah.
And the guy never, ever deer hunted in his life. He did all this by reading my books and figuring it out.
Yeah, they didn't go into a whole lot of his background as per se. They went more into the story of, like, what the cops found when the scarier, juicier stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and it's funny because of the 4-part series that they had on Prime Video and MGM Plus that my buddy Scott was in part of, and all 4 of those videos they never said anything about, or episodes, nothing about the cauldron. So, and that's surprising because you would think that they would bring that up. They did bring up the shovel at some point, but they never said anything about the cauldron.
See, and I also thought they were all hunters. Like, they were dirt poor growing up. At first, they lived off the land and stuff. That's how they got their
They're actually from La Crosse, and then they had a meat shop, and then they moved their way over to Plainfield, where they owned a farm.
Yeah.
But he's never went deer hunting whatsoever. I'm sure Henry did when he was little. I'm not sure about his dad or so, because his dad was drunk. Augusta ruled the house, so the kids rarely left the house.
Right. That I know,
he has no idea how to deer hunt. He even admitted that he never knew how to deer hunt.
Yeah, I don't know. They didn't, like I said, they didn't go into much detail with that.
Interesting.
Yeah. But, another thing they did a lot with the mannequins, and Jack Kevorkian's van, they had a mannequin set up on how it would look like if he had an actual patient in there that was going through the euthanasia. They had another one set up for a serial killer, torturer guy, I can't remember his name, but they had, photographs of the actual victims, tied up, and the torture that was done to them, and then they had a mannequin on the bed that was hooked up to an electroshock therapy machine type thing, sort of, that he would use to shock them and stuff. And it's just, it makes you wonder how this man can get away with having minors in there.
Mm-hmm.
With some of the graphic stuff that he's got. But, I'm not sure, but I think you have to be 14.
That's
I think it's 14 and up. But I'm not 100% sure.
That should be an 18-plus museum.
Well, some haunted locations will let you go into it if you are a young person, as long as you have a guardian.
Yeah.
A guardian, that's different, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
We do it here in Wisconsin too.
And I have the waiver I can go back and look on.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm pretty sure you have to be accompanied by, you can't come in by yourself. You have to be accompanied by an adult.
Oh, yeah. And plus, you never know what the 14-year-old kid's going to do by himself. Yeah. Trash the place or whatever. But anyhow, very cool story.
Yeah, it was interesting.
And that's something we can actually talk about more in the next season, next year.
Sure.
So I got a few questions made up for tonight's episode. I sent them to Cynthia really quick, and I see she giggled a little bit when she saw them.
Yeah.
And so the first
one... But they make sense, at least.
At least, for once, Darren, they make sense.
That's half my day. That's half my day. Question number one is, so do you think that the haunted locations get more heightened during the month of October because it's being the month of Halloween?
I have so many questions on that. I know Cynthia has answers. Can I ask my questions to go with it?
Yes.
Because I'm going to answer with questions.
Okay.
So I know it comes to the veil is thinning and on the, but so potentially the answer is yes. But then on the other hand, who exactly does it affect when the veil is thinning? Is it your everyday Joe like me, or do you have to be gifted?
Okay.
There's so many different. Yep.
There really is. So in my opinion, and again, this is coming from my experience, the thinning of the veil kind of affects everyone. It happens to hit harder for those who have more pronounced abilities, or more pronounced intuitive sense senses and feelings and things like that. But no, it affects everybody because truthfully, the whole thinning of the veil is kind of like a full moon scenario. The more you can be affected by spirit and by energy, and the thinner the veil is in between spirit and yourself, kind of affects you like a full moon does, you know? It plays with your moods, it plays with your senses, just that type of thing. But now the normal, everyday, average Joe doesn't notice it as much. I think that's it.
Yeah.
I think the normal, average, everyday person doesn't notice it as much because they're not looking for it. You know? As opposed to spiritualists, as opposed to pagans or religious people, as opposed to metaphysical people, paranormal investigators, you know, who are actually either A, in tune with it, B, have studied it, or, you know, C, know what they're looking for, then yeah, it's gonna hit different for them.
Right. And I agree with that because, I mean, and yeah, with all the energies and that what people bring into these locations can really have an effect on the way how it's going to run.
Well, and it also depends, too, on the location that you're going to, because some locations, you know, they are very dead set against anything that has anything to do with conjuring or metaphysical practices or, you know, things like that. But then again, there are places that don't disallow it, you know, and that encourage it. So, again, it's depending on the place that you're going.
Mm-hmm. And that's a very good answer to that because now this goes in with the next question is, do you think more teens get more experimental in the month of October? Like, they're going to try more riskier things?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like, it would, like a location, would they say, okay, all this time that we had this open, we're not going to allow Ouija boards. But for the month of October, we're going to allow just one.
No, I don't think it's.
I don't see locations doing that.
I don't think it's the locations. I think it's more of the teams.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's more of the persons that are doing the investigating. Knowing that the veil thins and knowing that there's more focused energy out there within the month of October. Seems to embolden people a little more to try things that they normally wouldn't. Sometimes it turns people a little more to the more unintelligent side than it should.
Does your intuitiveness gets more heightened?
Yeah, October is a wonderful month for those who have the intuitive abilities, the psychic abilities, the mediums, things like that, because the spirit is able to communicate stronger because the veil is thinner. So, yeah, it becomes a little frustrating for those of us that have those abilities.
So, before the next question, for anybody that's listening that doesn't understand what that means, I understand it to be the veil is between the two worlds. It's thinning, obviously, so it just means that liner between their world and ours.
Yes, that
cushion.
Cushion in between the spirit realm and the spirit world and our world. You know, our tangible world thins out during the month of October, during the Sabbath of Samhain, for anyone who is pagan, Wiccan, any type of heathen. Once Samhain comes along, that's which is Halloween. For those who do not know what Samhain is, Samhain is the pagan holiday for Halloween. It is a kind of like a Dia de los Muertos that they have for Hispanic people. It's where you honor your ancestors. It's where you communicate with spirit. It's where you are. It's a time of harvest. It's a time of kind of reaping what you have sown for the year and things like that.
Mm-hmm. I call it the crowning.
Kind of.
Yeah. Get ready, it's coming. It's crowning.
Oh,
Be ready to catch it.
Oh, my.
Only you, Darren.
So it leads me to my next question here. And this can go along with the first question I did mention was so locations. Do you think locations get overloaded with activity more so in the month of October than any other month of the year just because it is Halloween season?
No, I don't. Do I think the possibility is there? Yes. But do I think that just because of veil thinning and just because it's October that a location is going to get more activity going? Maybe not. It all depends on the place.
It's kind of twofold. Like, because, like, you can say no, why would it? But then again, if the veil's thinning and they get more noticed, could that create more it's this whole thing that we don't know enough about.
Yeah. Well, and part of it too is, like you said, so you've got the veil thinning. So that brings out more activity that may not have been noticed earlier.
And hyper feelings in the living, expecting it, can also feed into it, the emotional side.
Yep, and it could be, like what Darren added with people being a little more emboldened with things that they might try or things that they might do. It all depends on
because of the season.
Yeah, it all depends on what the team is doing that's there. There's a lot of things that factor into it.
Yeah. So let's speak. Okay, you and Shay go on Halloween and you go on investigation. Mm-hmm. Would you run it the same as normal, or would you say it's Halloween? Let's try this that we've never done before and see what happens.
For myself, I would run it just like any other. And our point, or at least we want to make the point to always try to do new things. So I don't think the season or Halloween would matter for me.
Right. I guess for me, I would run it like a normal investigation. Because for me, if I'm running a normal investigation and I get a wild hair and it's like, hey, okay, let's try this.
Exactly.
I mean, I guess, like Shay said, it really doesn't matter just because it's Halloween. I think it's interesting, like, so what Traveler's Moon's going to do with Malvern Manor. They're having an event on Halloween.
That's an interesting one.
At Malvern Manor.
You have to tell me. I haven't been on Facebook in a long time.
So Traveler's Moon is having an event at Malvern Manor. They're having a Halloween party. They are encouraging costumes. They're going to do a bunch of different, I think, games and stuff. along with the paranormal investigation, because they want to see if it reacts different, if the place reacts different to, the Halloween party type atmosphere.
I am a strong believer that you will get more activity in an everyday setting than the same old, give me your name. Or it can, not a definite, but I lean more towards, more than, when were you born? Do you know you're dead? What's your name? Can you see me? And we all try that stuff, but sometimes you get more activity just in the everyday conversation. You'll be like, did you just hear that? Like when you're like taking a break or something.
Yeah. So, I mean, I did not get the chance to get tickets to that. I was actually thinking about it, but I wouldn't be able to go anyway because it's on a Tuesday. But, some stuff like that is interesting to me because, sorry, I had to sneeze. Stuff like that is interesting to me because it begs the question of, like, if you're having a birthday party, if you're having a card club, if you're having, some sort of get-together or whatever in a place like Malvern, will that affect the spirits that are there? Will they notice? Will they react differently? Will they, it makes you wonder, and I think that's really cool that they're trying that to find out, hey, let's see what happens.
I've said it for a long time, especially places like Melbourne Manor or any kind of typical haunted location where you get the teens all the time, night after night, asking the same questions. So if you're just hanging out, having a good time, and the energy will be different. This will, I agree. I think that's great.
Yeah. I mean, and to kind of go back to one of Darren's questions as I'm sitting here thinking about this, stuff like that makes sense. Stuff like that is can't think of the word I want. Is positive for the growth of the paranormal field. Mm-hmm. It's not detrimental. For me myself, I mean, yes, it's awesome to be able to have a spot where you can go to investigate on Halloween, just because the veil is thinner. But by the same token, I feel that if you're doing an investigation on Halloween just because it's Halloween, it kind of doesn't, it doesn't, I don't want to say help, but
for me, investigating on Halloween would make no difference than any other Tuesday.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. And I'm an investigator, and I don't, yeah. I mean,
on
both questions, yeah.
To me, if I'm going to do something on Halloween, it would be to actually sit down somewhere where I can be focused and quiet and, maybe have necrophonic or something with me, whatever, just to see if I can get more responses, to see if I can actually communicate a little more. But just to go to a place like, take Edinburgh, for example. Edinburgh is active all the time. It's not just that it's completely insanely active on Halloween and that's it. No, it's all the time.
Right.
So I wouldn't rent out Edinburgh just because it's Halloween.
See,
public events like that, to where you're like, come Ghost Investigate because it's Halloween. Okay, yes, the nostalgia is there. Yes, the whole scare factor is there. Yes, but why just on Halloween? You know?
To say you did.
Yeah, so you did. See, I'm going to play devil's advocate here, and yeah, I would actually throw different unique experiments that I'd never tried just on Halloween, just to see what kind of effect I would get. Just for that one time.
Like what type of experiments, though?
Well, just bring out new, different kind of gear that's never been used, and just see.
That's saying if you ever had gear that you've never used, yeah.
See, like,
but then you would have nothing to compare it to.
Well, I mean, like last night, I went to an asylum, and I got out the Bible REM pod for the first time and used it. And they actually had a chapel in the basement by the tunnels. So we went into the chapel part, trying to see if I can get the priest to get the Bible REM pod to go off. Didn't happen, but it was an idea. It was a shot. Try to get we had the motion music box playing with the Lord's Prayer going off. When it ever went off, that's what would play.
See, but to me, that's not a bad experiment to do. The ones that I have issues with are with people doing experiments on Halloween are the ones that, it's Halloween, let's bring out the Ouija board. It's Halloween, let's do a seance. It's Halloween, let's do this, or that, and they have no idea how to do, what they're doing.
Yeah, and I had seance in one of my questions here. I just reworded it differently, But yeah, that is one of the things, like, yeah, okay, just because it's Halloween, we're going to bring out the seance. We're going to bring out the Ouija board.
If you have somebody that knows what they're doing, sure, fine, no problem. Do it. I would encourage it, just because.
But not on a whim.
No.
Yeah.
I would encourage, like I said, if you have somebody that knows what they're doing and you have somebody that knows how to perform that experiment or perform that action that you want to do, well.
Yeah.
Right.
Then yes, by all means, try it. But if you're just going at a whim to do it because it's Halloween and because you just feel like doing it, no. Because you don't know what you're getting yourself into.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I agree. So the final question we have here is, what do you wish people would do generally different on Halloween? What would you want to see different being done?
On Halloween, stop TPing people's houses. Oh, is that not what you meant?
Well, yeah, that's one thing.
Oh.
Truthfully, I would like to see people stop being so closed-minded and afraid of things. In this day and age, people are so afraid of getting their feelings hurt, being not socially correct, yada, yada, yada. The schools don't do costume parades anymore. They can only do certain costumes. They're pretty much to the point now where they can barely call it a Halloween party because, they've taken all of the fun out of Halloween. Religion is getting put much into everything.
Mm-hmm.
This is the one time when I was little, this was the day, and it is still my favorite time of year. I loved being able to get dressed up. I loved being able to pick out my own costume, be what I wanted to be for a night, and nobody had any say in it because, my parents, I was lucky enough that they let me do what I want to do. But now, all of a sudden, witches, witch costumes, any type of demon costume, any type of vampire, the monster stuff,
it's tamed down.
It's considered satanic. It's considered evil. It's considered bad. It's considered demonic. It's considered, they can't have it at schools.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Not up
they're
here.
getting pretty.
Yeah,
pretty bad.
Our school, my hometown school, it's getting so bad that you have about 2 or 3 choices of what you can do, and that's it.
Wow.
Yeah. It's awful.
Yeah, and the thing is, at the old Lutheran school that I went to, they even had their own makeshift haunted house in the gym they used to run through, and they can't even do that anymore. So
yeah,
it's just one of those things. They need to wake up, get with the times. It's not, the
people are too afraid of everything anymore.
And they don't need to be afraid. I mean,
yeah, I don't understand.
Yeah. Anyhow, this was a really good episode. I'm pleased at how the questions turned out, and it made a lot of sense on how everything.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
So.
Sorry, I took up like half of it talking about the museum.
Yeah, but I liked it.
That's fine. That was interesting, though.
It goes right in with the subject, so.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. So.
Oh, so we're off the air until February. We got like 4 minutes left, guys.
Yep. Shay, what do you got coming up?
Nothing. I'm still settling in and trying to. Shay's season 6 is coming back.
Okay.
So, I'm not sure when, but very soon. So.
All right. Cynthia, what do you got going?
Let's see. I have Bengal Haunted Crib coming up this weekend. It is the 4th annual Memorial Night for Roland. Darren's going to come down, and I'm going to have Traveler's Moon with us. REP Paranormal's going to be there. Cross Paranormal. Thomas Hunsaker with Brilliant Glimpse of Sanity, I think.
Okay.
Right? I always say the name of his photography stuff wrong. I think it's... Sorry.
Obscurum?
No, not Oculus Obscurum. He's not really doing much with that anymore. It's the Brilliant Glimpse of Sanity or Glimpse of Brilliant Sanity or something like that. I can never say it right. He's going to be there, and we're going to have a little bit of a meet and greet with all of the paranormal people and just kind of hang out and have some fun and kick back and have a night out. Have fun watching people get the absolute life scared out of them. I was trying to be nice. But yes, get the absolute crap scared out of them. Let's see. After that, I think there's a Malvern in there somewhere. Weekend before Thanksgiving, I will be at the Quad Cities Expo in Davenport, which is a Kelly McCarble expo. After that, I really don't have much else scheduled over the winter. I don't usually schedule a lot for us over the winter. But hopefully next year, I'm hoping to get us into a bunch of different places, so we will see.
Very cool. Very cool.
Very cool.
So, like she said, the Bengal Haunted Crib, I will be there next weekend. I still have a couple dates or a few dates that will be left at the museum in November. And then the 18th is the last day of investigating at the museum till we shut that down till February, which will be holding a Valentine's investigation event. That'll be more or less the kickoff. And and then I actually going to be trying to set up another event that Cynthia and I had talked about earlier in the week, which it sounds like it might be a goal now. So, so it's pretty cool. So that will be announced, I would say more or less in April or May of this year.
This coming year, yep.
Yep, this coming year. And other than that, we got Broadhead Manor on the 4th. So that will be basically my last investigation of the year is right there, because then I got to take care of the museum stuff. And other than that, that's about it. And then we'll see where we go next year. It'll be interesting because, I got to find more people to add to the team at some point, and so we go with that. But hey, it's life. You got to roll with it. So anyhow, that's all I got. Thank you guys for joining us tonight for the Paranormal Bus Stop, and we will be returning back in February. What date was that in February? The third weekend, or third Monday of the month in February. So right around, I'd say maybe the 20th, 21st or something like that, usually.
I don't know. Every year it's different.
Right. So, anyhow, we'll let you know when we get the stuff rolling back again. So,
yeah.
But thank you all for another great season of the Paranormal Bus Stop, and we'll try and do something different next year. Let's see. We'll see where we goes and what questions we bring up and what topics we come up with, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. So,
Thank you, everybody.
Yep.
Night.
Thank you for joining us. Good night, all.